Alright guys, the summer movie season has officially, in my opinion, come to a close. And you know what guys, we had a pretty good one this year. We had some really great hits. Of course we had some misses, we had some flops that I'm not going to get into. I think we're trying to forget about some of them. Fantastic Four. Terminator Genisys. What? Anyway. Yes, guys, it is the end of the summer movie season. We're entering the fall movie season / Oscar race, so I'm going to start getting pumped for that. Nevertheless, I do want to look back on the best movies of this summer, and therefore, in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my picks for my top 10 favorite movies of the summer 2015 movie season. Guys, overall, I would say this summer was not quite as strong as last summer. It was in terms of box office, obviously. But in terms of quality, I'm going to give the edge to last summer, actually. I think there were some films this year, some big blockbusters that could have been a little bit better. Nevertheless, I still think this was a fascinating summer. It was one I enjoyed. I enjoyed watching those big budget popcorn blockbusters in the theater. And I'm going to look back on the best ones right now in this video. Guys, also coming out soon, this is probably going to get uploaded first. Stay tuned and watch my most highly anticipated films of the fall 2015 / winter 2015 movie season. That video should currently be up on my channel, but be warned, it's 25 minutes long. Anyway, guys, before I get into my picks, I have the posters of all these films here. I look forward to doing this video because I love top 10 lists of best movies of summer and best films of the year. I have a couple of disclaimers that I want to make known, just because I know you guys are going to be asking me questions. Mike, why is this not in the list? Mike, where's this? Where's that? Why is that so low? First off, I have 3 disclaimers. Number 1, guys, as you know, and I know it seems silly for me to have to continue to repeat myself, but I just want to make it known, guys, this is my opinion. I'd ask that you respect it, as I will respect yours. If you guys disagree with my list, if, let's say, everyone outrages that I put Tomorrowland at number 2 as my second favorite film of the year, of the summer. That's my opinion. Not that it is that way, but I'm just saying, you know, we all have different opinions. This is my own personal opinion. This is the movies that I enjoyed the most this summer, had the most fun in, and if the movie's not on the list, then what can I tell you? Disclaimer number 2, I'm filming this video, it's August 22nd, the day I'm filming this video. Owen Wilson's newest movie, No Escape, which actually looks pretty good, also stars Pierce Brosnan, is coming out this coming Wednesday. I have yet to see that movie, and it is getting a wide release, so that would probably be in this video. But since I'm filming it early, I'm not going to include No Escape. If it's a good movie, if it turns out it would have been in my top 10, I'll make it known in that review. But I'm not including it. I just wanted to film this video and get it out of the way. I feel the summer movie season ended with Straight Outta Compton, though, when that came out. And disclaimer number 3, guys, and this is important. These films that are in my top 10 are big blockbusters. I'm not going to include any of the smaller independent releases that I saw, mainly because these films are going to end up on my top 10 list at the end of the year, or they'll be at least in my honorable mentions. Some of these movies, like my number 10 pick, there's no way this film is going to be on my top 10 list, alright? And you'll see what it is. So I saved the summer movie, my top 10 favorite movies of the summer video. I dedicate that to the blockbusters of the summer and not the more independent, smaller release films. So these following independent films are all currently in my top 10 of the year, but they're not in my top 10 of the summer because they're not big blockbusters. These are for the big blockbusters. So the small independent films that I really loved this summer are the Stanford Prison Experiment, very limited release. Dope, which did get a wide release, but I'm still not counting it because not a lot of people saw it, so I'm counting Dope. Great movie, though. One of the most interesting documentaries I've seen in a long time, and that's Amy from A24. Really, really interesting documentary. Really a brutal documentary as well. And then finally, a movie I just saw recently, The End of the Tour, with Jesse Eisenberg and Jason Segel, another A24 release, is one of my favorites of the year so far, but it's not a big blockbuster. And also, John Cusack and Elizabeth Banks in Love and Mercy, which was a pretty good biopic as well. So guys, with that said, I got the posters right here. Let's get into my picks for the very best films of summer 2015, or in my opinion, my favorite movies of summer 2015. So coming in at number 10, guys, this is the absolute definition of big, dumb summer fun. Number 10 is San Andreas. That's right, guys. San Andreas was the disaster film of this summer. and I think it was pretty damn entertaining. Now look guys, this is the type of movie, you know what you're getting into. You go into this movie, leave your brain at the door, okay? Because logic and everything probably doesn't exist. However, I still had fun with this movie. There are fun and entertaining sequences in this movie. The visual effects are really good. The Rock is a great, charismatic, very likable lead actor picked for this movie. And in my opinion, the tsunami speedboat scene, that's one of the best scenes I saw all summer. I liked it just because of how unexpected and how ridiculous it was. So, in my opinion, number 10, San Andreas. A fun, entertaining movie. It's not like I'm going to buy it on Blu-ray or anything. It's just one of those movies you just go to the theater and enjoy the hell out of it. And that's what I did with San Andreas. Coming in at number 9, this is a different kind of summer movie, but it's still got a big release, and it has one of the best performances of the year so far, probably the best performance of the year so far. Number 9 is Southpaw. Guys, Jake Gyllenhaal continues to do nothing but impress me with taking on these both physical and mental roles where he has to just completely transform himself, and he absolutely does. He buffed himself out for this role, and it absolutely pays off. He was also physically damaged, even emotionally and mentally destroyed as well, when he basically loses everything in this movie. Yes, this movie had flaws and cliches and characters that I didn't all that connect with, but in my opinion, Gyllenhaal just is incredible. Antoine Fuqua did a really good job filming the boxing sequences in this movie. Una Lawrence, who plays his young daughter in the film, did a very good young child performance that didn't make me want to cringe every 5 minutes. Forrest Whitaker was also pretty good in the movie. Again, the cinematography, the boxing sequences were really well filmed. Everybody made fun of me for that intro in my review. But Southpaw is pretty entertaining, guys. It could have been a little bit better, but I overall really enjoyed it. It told a good story that we've seen done before, unfortunately. So that is number 9. Coming in at number 8, this is Marvel's second release of the year. And although it's a much smaller film in the MCU, and it doesn't have that well-known of a story. Like, I walked into this movie kind of blind, to be completely honest. I didn't really know much about this character or this universe, and I ended up really enjoying the movie. Number 8, number 8 is Ant-Man. Ant-Man not only had an incredible cast with great performances from Michael Douglas and Paul Rudd as Hank Pym and Scott Lang, but these two, those two actors are incredible. Like, the two best performances of the MCU that I've seen in a while. Like, they were both really good, well cast. The rest of the cast is really good as well. But what I really liked about Ant-Man was how funny it was and how it really utilized those shrinking sequences very well. Like, that's something different that we haven't seen before in an MCU film. Like, they did something different. It's not just straight up, like, action fight scenes, gunfights, it's shrinking sequences, a little puny man the size of an ant just kicking ass, and it was pretty awesome. The movie was funny. Michael Pena cracked me up numerous times in this movie, and it finally answered the question of why the Avengers are not always around, and I loved that. Okay, it's a great tie-in to the MCU, and it has a great ending and a great post-credit sequence. I really enjoyed Ant-Man. That's number 8. Coming in at number 7, the highest grossing film of the year so far. Star Wars is probably going to beat it, but right now it is the reigning champ. And I enjoy this movie, guys. This movie did get a lot of mixed reviews. Not a lot of people like this one, but you know what? I think it was just a fun summer movie. It was entertaining. It had great action sequences. It had its thrilling moments. It had its downfalls, of course, like a lot of these movies do that I've been mentioning. However, coming in at number 7 is Jurassic World. Guys, Jurassic World, let's lay something important on the table. It's not trying to be better than Jurassic Park. I don't think it ever intended to, and a lot of people are saying, Mike, that's not why this movie wasn't bad. It just had problems with it. Well, yes, it had problems with it. Had its cliches, it had its dumb characters. But in my opinion, this movie beautifully paid homage to one of the best films, revolutionizing visual effects ever made, Jurassic Park. It was a worthy installment in this series. Chris Pratt continues to prove he is just a rising, just awesome, badass, up-and-coming action star who can definitely carry the weight of a movie by himself. Indiana Jones, I don't want to see an Indiana Jones reboot, but you know what, if anyone has to do it, give it to Pratt. He's great, okay? The visual effects are great, of course not as good or as groundbreaking as Jurassic Park, but the CGI looked really good. The score paid wonderful homage to John Williams' score. And guys, if nobody just completely fanboyed out in the final 10 minutes of this movie and that final fight sequence, then you don't have a soul or you don't enjoy entertainment, because that was pretty damn awesome. One of the best scenes of the whole year so far, and of course of the summer. I enjoyed Jurassic World. I had fun with it. Coming in at number 6, guys, many of you may be surprised. This was my most highly anticipated film of the year going into 2015. I was a little bit let down here or there, but I still had fun with this movie. I enjoyed it. It is not as good as its predecessor, but it is a worthwhile sequel. I saw this twice in the theaters, actually, and of course the film I'm talking about is Avengers: Age of Ultron. Now, Avengers was my favorite film of 2012, so that's why I was looking forward to Age of Ultron. And although it's a slight step down, I love the new additions to the cast. I love, like, the movie still, although the character development for our new characters was a little lacking, the movie still holds on to that really fun and teamwork side that made the first Avengers work really well. Joss Whedon, the nerd of all nerds, does an incredible job directing, as always. I think he gave us an even broader and bigger scale in this movie in regards to the action sequences, the special effects that were used, the overall just plot structure of where they took the story over all these different countries. I had a lot of fun with Age of Ultron. It's a blast. It's got great, eye-popping, spectacular things to look at visually, and that is why you ultimately go to these movies to just have fun and just enjoy the next installment. I also really enjoyed the ending of Age of Ultron. I think it's a great setup for Civil War and for the upcoming Infinity War, so I'm looking forward to what's to come. But Age of Ultron is just flat out fun, okay? It has flaws, but you can sit down and really enjoy this movie if you want to. That's number 6. Coming in at number 5. Everybody, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one, for not making this number 1. But guys, again, this is my opinion. I need to rewatch this movie, though. I'm personally admitting it on Blu-ray. And I'm going to buy it when it comes out next week on Blu-ray. Guys, the film I'm talking about for number 5 in my top 5 is Mad Max Fury Road. Now, guys, Mad Max Fury Road, listen, I walked into this movie. I did not have a great theater experience because I went to one of those draft houses where they interrupt you during the movie, asking you if you want food and whatnot. That's why I didn't have the best theater experience with Fury Road. However, I saw this movie with a lot of friends, and I had a lot of fun watching it because it is so exhilarating. It is epic. It is just an unbelievably, just flat-out crazy action movie with just original, like characters, and it's a very well character-driven story as well, although the villain didn't all that do it for me. And I've seen the first 2 Mad Max films after I watched this, and now I appreciate this movie a little bit more after having seen them. Just the cinematography, the production design, the action sequences. The last third act of this movie is one of the best scenes of the entire year, in my opinion. Guys, this is one giant, long car chase, essentially, in a deserted wasteland, and it is not, for a second, not entertaining, okay? Throughout, it's thoroughly entertaining, thoroughly engaging. Mad Max Fury Road is awesome. I think I'll love it even more if I see it again. So that's Fury Road. Coming in at number 4, I like to call this movie the biggest surprise of the entire summer movie season. I thought this was going to be utter crap, guys, but I was thoroughly shocked that The Gift was as good as it was, and it was. That is number 4. Guys, Joel Edgerton gives us an incredible directorial debut with an amazing screenplay that he wrote himself and an amazing performance, his best to date. Jason Bateman is great in this movie. Rebecca Hall is great. Excellent performances in this extremely taut psychological thriller that just really builds up and becomes all that more unnerving and really starts to mess with your head on what's real and what's not. And in my opinion, as much as the whole movie is tension-riddled and it doesn't rely on cliches, which is why it's so good, the final scene, the ending, is one of the most satisfying endings in a year filled with incredible movie endings. This is one of the best endings of the entire year. I loved every second of the ending. The Gift is a huge surprise, in my opinion. That's number 4. Coming in at number 3, there's a biopic. I knew hardly nothing about this movie going into it, and I came out thoroughly surprised and thoroughly impressed with what they managed to pull off with performances and direction. Number 3 is Straight Outta Compton. Straight Outta Compton is one of the most energetic and powerful moving movies I've seen all year so far. F. Gary Gray does an amazing job behind the camera. Ice Cube's son, O'Shea O'Shea Jackson Jr., Corey Hawkins, and Jason Mitchell all give incredible performances as Ice Cube, Eazy-E, and Dr. Dre. The script was well written. It portrayed these men as they were, flawed human beings who made a lot of mistakes, but were incredibly talented and driven by passion, and I can ultimately relate to that in my own life, and that's why I love Straight Outta Compton as much as I did. Had an amazing soundtrack. There were some really tension-riddled moments here or there, some really riveting, compelling stuff, and that is why I ultimately enjoyed Straight Outta Compton as much as I did. Really good movie. I really want to go back and rewatch it, actually, when it comes out on Blu-ray. Coming in at number 2. Now, although I admit I have to watch Fury Road again, this, in my opinion, is currently the best action movie I've seen all year. It is also one of the best installments in this ever-growing franchise that just shows that it will not die anytime soon. Coming in at number 2 is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. On my last year 2014 summer movie video, Edge of Tomorrow, also starring Tom Cruise, made number 2. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation just made number 2. Tom Cruise is one of the best action stars working today. Continues to blow us away with the stunts he's able to perform and the dedication he brings to these movies. This movie is the funniest Mission Impossible in the entire series, in my opinion. It also has great teamwork. Not as great as Ghost Protocol, but it is still very solid, in my opinion. It also has probably the best overall villain with the Syndicate. Great, spectacularly filmed action sequences, an underwater sequence, a motorcycle chase scene, all just left my mouth gaping in this movie. The final act is so filled with so many surprises, fantastic ending. I love this series. I love where it's going. It's so entertaining. It took all the characters from all the Mission Impossible movies we love, brought them all together, and just made one awesome, badass, summer action spy espionage thriller movie. I love Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Awesome movie. And finally, guys, coming in at number 1. This movie is not only my favorite movie of the summer, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. I have my whole list of every film I've seen so far in 2015 ranked on Letterboxd.com. And this is so far my number 1 film of the year. No film has beat this movie yet. I'm pretty sure something will down the line, but don't be surprised if this becomes my number 1 of the year at the end of the year when I do my top 10 at the end of the year. Guys, number 1. I loved them since childhood, and they're still making great movies. Number 1 is Inside Out. Guys, Inside Out is just perfect, alright? I gave it a 9.5. I'm going to stick by that grade. I've seen this movie twice. It's the only other movie, apart from Age of Ultron, I've seen twice this year in the theater. Everything worked about Inside Out. Yes, it's beautifully animated, gorgeously colored. The voice casting, perfectly casted. Whoever cast this thing, mad props to them. The screenplay is excellent. Yes, all that works so incredibly well. The score by Michael Giacchino is incredible and beautiful and heartbreaking. But what really works with Inside Out so much, guys, is how original this concept is. Just how amazing they're able to create this world and these characters out of something that you wouldn't even think about normally. This movie is heartbreaking. It has so many powerful emotional messages that kids should see, that be affected by. Adults, everybody can go to this movie and love it. It's just not for kids. It's not just for kids. It's just a near-perfect movie. It pulled on my heartstrings. The second time I saw this movie, I nearly broke down in tears. That is how good this is of a film. Inside Out is incredible. There you have it, guys. There you go. All 10 of my top 10 favorite movies of the summer. Guys, the question is now up to you. Let me know down below in the comments. I just gave you my top 10 picks for the best movies of the summer. What are your picks for the best movies of the summer? Your top 5, your top 10, your top 20. Let me know down below in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on my list. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.